Welcome back to the New Equity Network show. I'm your host, Michael Yorba, and we've got my trusty co-host, Ed Baxter, here in the studio.
Michael.
Good morning, Ed. Thanks for being here. We've got a nice little lineup coming up here. First show that we've got, our first segment we've got is Greg Lambrecht. He's the CEO of Singlepoint and stock symbol SING. We're working to get him on the show right now. All right, Ed, we had a pretty good first week last week. What'd you think?
I thought it went fabulous, considering it was kind of a launching pad for a new show. It's always kind of interesting to see how it goes.
Yeah, some of the companies that we have on here, you've got a lot of experience in investment banking. You're able to ask them insights and into questions that that I can't. And I wanted to give you a little bit. Oh, looks like we've got Greg Lambrecht on the line with us right now. Greg, welcome to the show.
Oh, hey, thanks for having me.
All right, my pleasure. Glad you're here. All right, Greg, before we get into the mobile payments and the mobile apps and the acquisitions and the things we're going to talk about right now, I wanted to see if you had a moment to be able to give the audience a well-rounded view of your background, the guy steering the ship, and then we can get into what Singlepoint does, okay?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I started a distribution business in Seattle, Washington in '84, and had that for 15 years, and we placed products in about 2,000 or 3,000 accounts. In '96, we put humidors and cigars in our accounts in the Northwest, and before we knew it, we had orders from about 30,000 accounts in the U.S., all the major big box convenience stores, 7-Eleven, Texaco, Costco. So we raised $10 million, and we went public on the NASDAQ with the cigar company called Premium Cigars International, and we placed cigars in 30,000 accounts. And since then, I've been pretty focused on the mobile side, being from Seattle. Of course, Seattle is kind of the mobile mecca of the United States. So currently, the name of the company is Singlepoint, and our ticker symbol is SING, S-I-N-G. And we allow people to use their mobile phone and their credit card to do payments.
All right. Now, Ed Baxter, my co-host here, has got a lot of background in investment banking, so he's going to chime in a little bit on with some questions for you. Let's talk about the mobile payment sector. Bring that out. How is Singlepoint changing the dynamics here, and what's your disruptive technology?
Well, as I'm sure a lot of your audience knows, the saying goes, everything's going to mobile, and certainly payments are. So that's where the big growth and the big money is. One of the things that we do a little bit different than some of the other ways to pay with your mobile phone, whether it's Square or PayPal or anybody else. My partners and I, we came out of the text messaging background. In fact, at one point we did all the text messaging for Nextel and American Idol, and we really were kind of the leaders in that field. So one of our products is called Text to Pay, and because of that, we're a little different than the other payment companies out there on mobile, where we really have expertise on the text messaging side. So we can send you a text with a link, and then when you hit that link, it takes you to a landing page, and there is where you can use your credit card to do either a donation or a transaction.
Ed, do you got any questions?
We know that the mobile payments market is pretty big. What you mentioned, Square, there's obviously Apple Pay, there's near-field technology that people use, there's also third-party texting and other things that we have out there. And you mentioned some of the differences you have. From kind of a top-level view, how big is this market? Where do you see it going, and how do you see yourself being a major player?
Well, I mean, the market is enormous. I mean, to be honest with you, 15, 20 years ago, if you remember that first time you got on your computer and actually got your credit card out and purchased a flight, it was kind of nerve-wracking. Did that really happen? Did that really go through? And of course, now it's second nature. Well, really what's happening is as smartphones get smarter and people learn how to use them better, they're just eliminating the computer and really doing everything on their smartphone. So as far as payments on the mobile phone, it's the market is enormous, and everybody's using their mobile phone. There's in a lot of situations there's no reason to go home or whatever and turn your computer on and do it that way if you can just do it on your mobile phone. We feel yes at Singlepoint that there's some interesting verticals that we think the Apple Pay and the others are going to take a long time to get to. One of those verticals that we started exploring last year was the cannabis market, and we put out a press release that we were going to be in that market as a payment option. So right now the banks have not opened up yet, but when they do, we plan on using our payment technology to allow people to use their credit card or their debit card to pay for cannabis instead of cash. So the reason I use that example is, we feel that's one of many verticals where some of the larger players, for whatever reason, may not get into right away.
That brings up a really interesting question also with regard to the cannabis and maybe other things that might be associated with that. Do you see this as a socially agnostic platform?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. One of the things that we do a little different than others is, for example, nowadays you see a lot of marketing. For example, even at Starbucks, they say, "Hey, text in 37284 to join our mobile club." Well, if 5,000 people or 500,000 or 5 million text in, well, they've opted in to receive a message. So at that point, we can send a text out with a message saying, "Hey, if you'd like to buy a Starbucks gift card for $19, or if you'd like to donate to this cause," it's a very, very effective direct marketing tool.
So you also see the direct marketing tool. In addition to that, you see it as a tool for driving commerce or delivering commerce to local facilities where ultimately they walk in, they've opted into your system, and they get a chance to have either coupons or daily deals put through the system also?
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's probably even a better example of how, we could be effective players in this market. We're looking to come in with mobile payments and mobile marketing to the, for example, the pizza store chain that has 15 accounts that needs this this sort of payment technology that, of course, Pizza Hut and Domino's are already implementing. So that's what we feel is our niche market, the small to mid-sized businesses.
Where do you see this going, this industry? Because I mean, for where I see the mobile apps, they're really stretching the limits on most people's ability to really adapt to them. Do you see new technologies and mobile apps, new things coming that you guys are working on?
Well, yeah, I mean, we were a little ahead of our time 5 years ago when we were explaining our product to various businesses and nonprofits. At that time they were, it was, oh my God, I didn't even know you could do that. And the customers were just adopting the smartphones at that time. 5 years later, customers are now very familiar with using a credit card on their mobile phone to buy products or to donate. So, the business is here now. It's happening as we speak.
Right.
Since you don't see or you don't have to swipe a card like you would with, say, Square, do you see this as an opportunity to have a little bit less, say, fraud as far as the card use is concerned?
Well, Square and us, we're all PCI 1 compliant. So we're no different than you booking a flight on United Airlines. So that's not really a big concern. But I think that the interesting thing for the audience to keep in mind is, a lot of times people ask us, well, are you like Square? Well, we're only like Square that's also a way to use your mobile phone to do a payment. It's no better, it's no worse, and it's important to realize also, the other gentleman mentioned the near technology. So it doesn't matter what kind of mobile technology you're using. The point is that everybody's using their mobile phone for payments, and that's really where the business is going.
Greg, let's take a break right now and cover other business opportunities on the other side of this commercial break, all right?
Sounds good. Thanks.
You're welcome. We'll be right back with Greg Lambrecht, CEO, President, Founder, Singlepoint, symbol SING, at singlepoint.com.